Poppin'.
Hey,
What's going on?
hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, baby girl?
I am well. Oh my goodness, you got your
Hey.
glasses ready. I see you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
see you. I have my glasses. I have my glasses. I'm about to
All
fill
right.
up,
All right.
but I'm a non-alcoholic person, so I have my Red Bull.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. You know what I'm saying? You know.
How are you? Welcome to Glasses After Dark.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. Is the music too loud for you?
Oh no, no, no. We good, baby. We good. We good.
All right, this is your world, so I'm going to tell you a little bit how this goes, okay?
Okay.
So, we're going to, of course, do our conversation and our interview, and it's going to be kind of hot because I did some research on you, okay? And I see where a lot of your songs come from, okay?
Okay.
So, we're going
Okay.
to dig into that a little bit. And
Okay.
then at the end, we're going to ask some questions from our guests, people, your fans. They want to hear from you. It's been 7 years, so they want to hear. Okay? So we're
I'm
going to
with
go
you.
ahead and get started. All right? So the first thing I do want to talk about is celebrate. Welcome back. It has been
Thank
needed.
you.
We need it. We were just
Thank you.
playing You Know What's Up,
Yes.
and that was a very great song for you with Left Eye
It was. It was. Yes.
on the billboards. I think you won an award or something about that, in reference to that.
Yeah.
Something
Well.
about a best new artist.
Yeah. I mean, which was crazy because I wasn't a new artist at the time, but I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you won an AMA, which is huge.
Yes, I did. Yes. Yes, I
And
did.
and we're gonna get into your second album, but I want to get more into the man, Donell Jones, the man.
Yes.
Okay. And so if anyone knows anything about Donell, he is from Chicago. I'm from Detroit, so we're up the street from each
Yeah,
other.
Bristol
Okay.
City, just Bristol City. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how it was growing up in Chicago for you.
Oh, I mean, growing up in the Chi, I mean, it's first of all, it's a beautiful city.
It
You
is.
know, there's a lot of gang violence. You know, Chicago is one of those places that you get what you see. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the '90s, well, in the '80s when I was growing up, because I'm born in '73. So
May 22nd. You're
yeah.
a Gemini.
So you know, growing up as a young kid in Chicago, you know, quite naturally, you know, we spent a lot of time with the family. You know, my grandmother, my father, and them were from Mississippi. So you know, a lot of people came up from Mississippi to that connection. Good. We
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I got you now. Yep,
So
I
growing, yeah.
got
So
you.
okay, yeah. So growing up in the '90s, things changed. You know what I'm saying, like the crack era had happened. You know, we started to see a lot of our family members, you know, get hooked on crack. You know, it was just Chicago was one of those places that it was just really tough,
Okay, and for
as I'm sure
yourself,
every other place in America was.
yeah, the 90s was real. And I was born in 82. So for me, as I was getting older, it was kind of not really dwindling down, but there was a hold on it. It was like a little bit more mannish by the time I got up. But um, the reason I wanted to interview you was because for myself, I've seen so many different things when it pertains to men and women. And my personal belief is that it stems from, how how women are, stems from our upbringing. It
Hmm.
stems from our experiences. And I just want to shed a little light. I did have the pleasure of doing my research on you.
Okay.
And to me, a lot of your events and transitions in your life were kind of like a cause and effect. And I kind of want to take our viewers through the journey of Donnell. Okay, so while
Okay.
you were in Chicago, you grew up. Your father was a gospel singer,
Yes.
and that is
Correct.
how you got introduced into the music. And you were about 8 years old when you started singing. Is that
I was
right?
about five. About five.
Uh, excuse me, 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. About five. Yep.
Okay, and but you wrote your first song at 12.
11.
Uh, You know what? You're not gonna keep correcting me on this, Donell. Okay, no, I'm
I
just
mean,
joking.
yeah, actually, so I mean, I'm just, I mean, if we're gonna be 100, we got to do it all the way right now.
That's right. Correct me. Tell me to get the facts straight. Okay, I was close though. So.
No, you're right there. You know what I'm saying? You're right there on it, though. You own it.
Okay, so tell me that first song. It was called "Love Can't Win."
You got that right, yo. For real, love can't win.
Why did you title it that at 11?
You know what, man? I don't know. I don't know why. But it was a song. It was like love can't win, love can't win. No. It was just the corniest little thing that you could ever think about.
Okay.
But I don't know why that song or what the lyrics were about, because I didn't really even know what love was about around that time. But I do remember that was the name of the song, and I absolutely disagree with what I said then, because love wins all the time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Love is victorious all the time. Maybe back then it wasn't, but now it is.
And I definitely want to get into the variations of love, because I think that people have a misunderstanding of what love really entails. I think, people hear everything is always going well, that's love, or people always praising you, that's love. And the truth of the matter is love is correction, love is sacrifice, love is the heavy stuff, the life-changing thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what that means is no matter where you are, who you are, or where you are in that particular time, I still want to help you. I still want to see you win. And I'm still going to do whatever it takes to make that happen. So I think we're going to get into a little bit more of that, because I think you started some trouble first before you found out that love conquers all,
Okay.
Okay, so you're 11, you're writing. You started getting into little things, as young men do, hanging out in the streets. But then you decided to go ahead and work a 9 to 5, and you start working at McDonald's at 16. Or was it 15? Was it 16?
It was one of them. It was one of them.
So you at Mickey D's. You're doing your thing. Yeah, you're flipping, doing your Coming to America.
I'm flipping them burgers like it ain't nothing in the back.
But now I assume you're humming and you're singing, because your manager overheard you.
Yeah, I'm back there. I'm flipping burgers and I'm singing, and the manager overheard me, and he was like, man, I got a group, man. You should come try out for my group. And
Porsche.
And I was like, yeah, man, cool. I'll come do it. It wasn't Porsche. Porsche got developed after that, but it was the manager of the group. When the manager of McDonald's, when I went to go try out for the group, there was another guy in the group called his name was Gregory Tobar, and that group had broke up, and then we formed Porsche because he knew two other guys, Steve and another guy by the name of Paul, and we all got together and formed this group called Porsche. Yeah.
Porsche. So was that supposed to be a form of a Porsche, but y'all just said, we're going to call it Porsche?
And actually, it was a young lady. It was her last name, who was our first manager, and we decided to name our group after her last name.
Oh, well, that's very sentimental. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is why I tell people, do not despise small beginnings, because that really transitions you into everything else. Because you and Porsche, you guys went to, I believe, some type of festival, the Black Radio exclusive. Yeah.
Convention.
So you guys went out there, but the turnout really wasn't what you needed it to be.
What happened was we drove out to Washington D.C. I think it was around '92, and we had a showcase, but nobody came to the showcase because nobody knew who we were. Right. But we knew that everybody, all the artists and everybody that was in the music business would be at this particular convention. So since nobody came to our show, we decided to go outside and sing for anybody who would walk up, because everybody stayed at this particular hotel. So we're outside and we're singing for anybody who walked up, and Eddie F.
And you met Eddie.
Heavy D's DJ happened to walk up, and he heard us singing. And he was like, yo, man, look, don't sing for nobody else. I want to sign y'all. So he walked off, and as soon as he walked off, we started singing for somebody else. And he came over, stopped us. He was like, look, I'm telling y'all, don't sing for nobody else. I'm really going to sign you guys. And that's where it all kicked off. About a month, 2 months later, he sent us plane tickets to come to New York.
So I want to slow down in that moment because I know a lot of people, they get discouraged when they're trying to do something. You know,
Right.
they're like, okay, you know what? We about to make it. We got to spend our little last, $200. We about to go out here. We about to make it happen. And then you get there and nothing's going on. And for
Right.
most people, they'll stop. They'll say, and complain. And then they'll go into a little spiral at that moment. But you guys had a different conversation.
We did, but to be honest with you, but it before that moment, we had already been trying to make it in Chicago for over 4 or 5 years. So for us, this was our last chance. We were a male group. We all had different personalities, and at that particular time, we were on the verge of breaking up. So that was our last hope. If we hadn't made it then there would have been no more groups. So we decided, look, let's just go out here. Let's make the best of it. We're here. We're around all of these people. Let's just try to, let's go out here and let's sing and let's give it our all. One last chance, one last time. This is it. And that last chance was it actually happened on that last go around,
Right when you're about to throw in the
Yep.
towel, that's when it
Yep.
happens.
That's when it happened.
And I know that you're a faith believer, and I am as well. So
Oh yeah.
excuse me if I reference it quite often. Okay.
All good.
So
All good.
all right. And so you guys went out. You decided like, hey, listen, there's some heavy hitters in this hotel. Let's just go make it happen. And you did it. And then you met Heavy D's former member Eddie Farrell.
Right.
And he's like, yo, chill out, relax, be patient. I'm coming. And
Right.
y'all like, yeah, I hear you, but let's go ahead and keep singing. Shoot, we got him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
so he's
Right.
like, no, I got you. So then he's like, all right, cool. And then you guys moved to New Jersey with him.
Well, he brought us to his home. He brought us to his home, and he was recording an Untouchables compilation album where he had a slew of producers that he represented, and he had some artists that he represented. Intro was one of his first groups that he had brought out. He had Pete Rock and CL Smooth. He had the hottest producer camp in the game. So when we got there, he was already recording an album, and he decided to put us on that album, which was called Untouchables. It was a compilation album. So we ended up doing a song on that album called "I Can Make You Feel Real Good."
Right.
And that was the beginning of the whole thing, really. Yeah.
What do you remember that feeling?
To be on an album was the most incredible feeling in the world because, we waited for this all our lives. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the song wasn't a single or anything like that. It wasn't one of the songs that they were coming out with, but just to see our name on an album.
Right.
And that whole thing was incredible for us, as a group. It was one of the things that we had always, wanted to happen, and it happened.
And I see a lot of people right now. We have a lot of hustlers now. We have a lot of people who are, grinding, who is ready to just make life happen. And for myself, I just want to encourage people, or just kind of inform them and letting them know that it's a journey. It's literally a journey. And if you try to move it too fast, you can shorten your life. A lot of things can happen when you're trying to just move too quickly. So respect the journey. It's because that's what it is,
It is. It is.
So, okay, you with Eddie, you're doing your thing. You guys make your album and your song, but it didn't quite hit the way that you wanted it to hit. The album didn't quite go anywhere. You guys end up parting, right? Portia.
Yeah, well, at that time when we did that compilation, the song on the compilation album, like I said, we weren't we weren't a priority. We was the newest group that he had already had. We were like new to the team when he put us on the album. So while being there, we're recording. Me and the group, the guys in the group. I was the songwriter. Well, two of us that were songwriters in the group. Me and this guy named Gregory Tobar. But they like to play basketball, so they was outside, and I like to play the keyboard and all that kind of stuff. So Eddie had a production room in the basement, and he had a studio next door to it.
Right.
So I would always go to the production room and try to create and try to make stuff and just try to learn how to use this equipment, because I'm like, damn, this is a hell of an opportunity. I'm around a whole bunch of equipment. I ain't got this stuff back at home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to learn all of this shit. Fuck that. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity right now.
Yeah,
While
to the
other guys
point you
are
were in
outside.
there for 13, 14 hours, I would hear. Like,
I was in there. I was really just trying to, I mean, I was taking up all the time, and there were other people trying to get in there. And, but that's how much I really wanted to learn. And I think he's seen that in me. He's seen that, okay, this cat right here, like, he really trying to do this. And then one day, what happened was one day, a couple of members in the group got into a real big fight, and they broke a hole, like a big hole in his wall, because one of the guys pushed the other guy through the wall. And that's when Eddie was like, okay, y'all got to go home. Everybody got to go home. Everybody got to go home. So he sent us
including
home,
you.
including me. Yeah, I had to go. Everybody had to go. Because it wasn't just my group. It was a few other artists that were living there as well. Like he had like a boot camp where it was like a whole bunch of artists living in his house. And when that happened, he put everybody out. He was like, y'all got to go. Y'all destroying my crib, you know. And I understood that.
Right, of course.
So, I mean, when he sent us home, that's the group was kind of like, it was on its last end at the end of the day anyway. So about a month later after that, he called me up. He was like, yo, Donell.
And this was Eddie, right?
I'm working on this new artist named Usher Raymond, and I want you to come and write some songs with me, because, you know, he liked the way I write.
Right.
So he was like, I'm gonna send you a plane ticket to come back. I want you to come and write some songs with me. And so what I did was I got back there. I wrote a song called "You Took My Heart" for Usher. And then Puff Daddy had heard that song, and he was like, "Yo, well, damn, man, hey, send Donell over my way. I got a track that I've been trying to get people to write to, and I can't get nobody to come up with nothing for this track." So I went over to his studio, and then I ended up writing all the time I think of you. I did that one. Me and Faith wrote that joint together, and then from there, man, things just started taking off. You know what I'm saying? As far as like me becoming a writer, and I never went home after that. You know what I'm saying? I just ended up staying in. I was going from house to house. You know, I was at damn near every producer's house. Everybody want me to, you know, come and write some songs. So that's really how everything started for me as a songwriter first.
To the point that you even wrote with Madonna, for Madonna.
I didn't. I was actually in the studio. When that was taking place. One of my good friends, Dave Hall, was producing her at the time. Dave Hall is one of the guys who kind of pretty much produced majority of Mary J. Blige's first album, What's the 411. So I happened to be in the studio with him when he was doing that album. I didn't write anything on that particular album. Madonna is a hell of a writer. She wrote all her own stuff. I can't take credit for anything that Madonna did. Trust me.
But hey, you was in the building.
I was in the building, but I didn't write anything on that.
Okay, so we're going to clear the air. So if you hear anything, Madonna does her own thing.
Yeah, Madonna's the beast. She did her own thing on that. I can't take no credit for that.
But Donell is the type of man that's going to be in the building with the legends, because he is one himself, okay? Because you definitely made your way. When you became a solo artist yourself, you signed with LaFace.
I did.
You signed with LaFace, and now I'm just going to go ahead and skip to this hot second album, okay? We're going to skip there. Now, the song that's playing right now, Where I Want to Be.
Okay,
can y'all hear it? I know y'all know it. But this song did some things. Okay, now I know you said we could be transparent.
Sure,
okay?
Sure.
Now, and I saw that you said you was going to represent for the fellas, and I told you I was going to represent for the ladies, because that's one of them songs, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and rewind it, because we on this.
Okay.
Now, this particular song, you were a father now at this time. You and
I was a father when I first went down to when I met Eddie. I was already a father.
Okay. Right, because you became one at what age?
I was a father I was 19 when I was 18 when I met Eddie. I had already had a child, and I had one on the way. So by
Okay.
by 19, I had 2 kids.
Okay. Okay. So your father, you're trying to fulfill your dreams. You know, you come from you can't your parents were married, but then,
Correct.
you know, they did end up getting divorced, but your father
Correct.
was still influential in your life.
Yes. Correct.
But you did stay with your mom.
I did. Well,
And
I moved back and forth for both.
okay.
Yeah.
So now you're doing your thing. You're trying to fulfill your dreams, you know, because you know you may have had an older brother or so that was involved in the street life, and you're like, hey, that's not what I want for myself. So let me take a different path. And so now the pressure is on because when you have children, I'm a new mom. I have a 2-year old. She'll be 3 in December. And so, and I'm 37. So my energy level is like, geez, okay.
Right.
But anyway, um, so now you're in this position where you have to make something happen. Diapers are expensive, things are expensive, and this pressure is on you at 19. What was kind of going through your mind at that time? You're in the middle of fulfilling your dream, but you're still getting those phone calls or beepers. I think you're probably getting paged about things that needed to happen. How did that feel for you at that time?
I mean, at that time, I mean, I'm not gonna even sit here and try to make up anything. I mean, I was all about trying to make it. You know, my children and their mom, they were in Chicago. They were being, you know, she lived with her mom because she was a young mom as well. So
Okay.
I was, you know, I was in New York trying to become somebody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and my children, they were babies. You know what I'm saying? So I had left Chicago. I was trying to do everything to make it. By the time this is before where I want to be. This is before my first album. So
Mhm.
uh, after I got signed with LaFace, then they gave me some money. So then I moved my girlfriend at the time and my 2 children out to Jersey with me. That was before my first album. So after my first album came out, then we were living together. Everything was going fine. I ended up having another child, which is my third child. And then so everything was moving in the right direction for me. I started making money. Things that started to change in my life at that particular time. But this is before the way I want to be out.
Right. Okay. So, because I did go a little bit faster, in your journey, you know, so before you start really progressing, it's just when you moved to, um, when you were still with Portia, you moved her out there, her and the kids.
No. This was after Porsche. After me and Porsche broke up, that was before.
Okay, so you stayed in
Before
LaFace. You went when you went solo for the first before right at the first album when he asked you to come back to write. Is that when you
correct.
went? Okay, so is that during the
No,
time?
what happened was when Porsche broke up, he asked me to come back out to write some songs. When I came back out to write some songs, I ended up staying out there with him, and and I started the first song I started to make was I started to make In the Hood, and I made Natural Thing, and I made Yearning, and
Okay.
Eddie heard those 3 songs. He was like, "Yo, D, I think I need to go get you a deal," and I was like, I didn't really want to get a deal because I was not a solo artist. I had never been out by myself. I was always with a group. So I really didn't want to be a solo artist because I wasn't the lead singer of the group anyway. I was just
Mm.
one of the guys on the side. So when he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go get you a deal," I was like, "Okay, let's do it." You know what I'm saying? And so when he went and he played those records for L.A. Reid, and L.A. heard those records, and that's when I flew out to here to Atlanta, and I went to go meet L.A. Reid, and I sung Yearning for him. He was like, "Yo, man, I want you to come back with a finished album. I'm gonna put you out." So that's how I got signed with LaFace. And when they signed me, then I was able to make a little bit of money, and I moved my girlfriend at the time and my children to Jersey with me.
You know what? I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you for just take. It sounds like you just took a chance on yourself. You know, like, hey,
I did.
listen, like, okay, I may not be the lead, but if they want me to lead, I will. You know, I may not know everything, but if you give me the opportunity, I'm gonna learn everything. You know, you just show me where it's at, I'm going for it. So I really commend you for that, those character traits just as a man. because I think that's what's needed in order to even go to any level. So, kudos to you on that.
Appreciate
So
that.
now you're welcome. So you have your family out there, you're doing your thing, and now, we're at the second album again. We're at the second album now.
Yeah.
And but you went on tour with Alicia Keys. And that was kind of
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No,
No.
no. Go ahead.
So
No. Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah. When the second album happened, my life completely changed. You know what I'm saying? The first album was successful and all that stuff like that, but when the second album came out, my life completely changed. I mean, like, now I'm starting to be approached by women that I wasn't usually getting approached by. Things started to change. My life took on a different thing. You know what I'm saying? And this happened during the first album. So by the
okay.
time the second album came was when I wrote Where I Want to Be, because my life had changed when Knocks Me Off My Feet and Then the Hood came out. It totally changed my life. Like, I'm starting to get approached by different women and different, what I'm saying? Now I'm starting to become famous. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting this bug. Now I'm starting to feel myself. Now I'm starting to think I'm the shit and all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I started to change, and that's where the song Where I Want to Be came from, because I had been with my baby moms since we were teenagers, but now I'm starting to see all of this stuff happen in my life where things are starting to change. I'm starting to have a lot of lust. I'm starting to want other women, and we're not really getting along like we used to. So that's why I wrote that particular song, because that's how I actually felt at that time and in that moment. And I think that's why a lot of people can identify with it, because it was my truth, and a lot of people in the world was actually going through the same thing that I was going
Okay, kind of give me a little bit of insight. You know, aside from business, just as a man, because women, we can enter into new ventures, and we may get approached by whoever, and but we have this sense of loyalty still, that we just want to be with our guy,
through.
the guy with the Jag, the guy with the whatever, the Maserati, whatever. It doesn't matter. My guy is gonna make it, and he's who he is. And it don't matter what you and your stuff can. But what is it
Right.
with men when they get into that light? It's like something. It's like I mean, I don't know, because you seem like you've always been handsome. So I'm sure that women may have always approached you. So
Well,
I
I was
mean,
self-conscious. I was always self-conscious. But okay, let me break it down to you like this. When
I might have to
men
switch
and
my glasses.
when we're little kids, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Women always come up to the little boys and they say, "Ooh, you're gonna have a lot of girlfriends when you grow up." So this is something that we always hear. This is like it's implanted in our self-conscious, because we hear this
Okay.
all the time. "Ooh, you're gonna have a lot of girls." They never say that to little girls. They never say, "Ooh, you're gonna have a whole bunch of boyfriends. You're gonna have a." So I mean, this is one of the things that we implant in children's heads at a
Hmm.
young age. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That it's cool to have multiple women, and for girls, you know what I'm saying? You never hear that. You never tell a young girl that. So I mean, we got to really sit back and understand how we do this stuff to kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we this is what we're doing to them. So when they grow up and it happens, then it backfires, because that's not what you really want. But you've taught them this since a little kid.
You know what? And I'm big on what children hear. I'm very big on that. That's why I don't believe in cussing around children, because they're sponges. Like they don't know anything but what they learn and what they see. And
Yeah.
so, implanting those thoughts over and over. Like someone said to my cousin's son today, "Oh, you so handsome. You gonna be my little boyfriend now? You 48.
Right. Right.
He's
Right.
3,
Right.
and you talking about this is going to be your boyfriend. Now, that's almost, as he hears that and gets older, it's almost going to be okay to date
Right.
older women. And then when they're 11 and they're hooking up with a 16-year-old or something, it's like, oh my, or some older woman like Boosie had his son with an
Right.
older woman.
Right.
now it's like, oh my God, but we're teaching this indirectly
Right.
and not
I
even
mean, and you know
knowing
what?
it.
We don't realize this is what we're doing. But you know, we have to really sit back and take a look at it, and then understand why some of these things happen. Now everybody is not the same,
Of
and you
course.
know, we can't blame it. You know, can't blame this one situation, but this is just one thing that happens. Just imagine multiple other things. You know, this is us telling our kids, but what about the world? The world teaching our children
Right.
also certain
Other.
things. So
So
yeah, so I mean, it's a never ending story.
so does that apply pressure to be this guy? You know, to be this player guy. Somebody apologized. Does it? I'm saying, does it apply pressure to you at a young age to say, okay, I got to be this guy with a lot of women? Does that
I
where
mean,
it kind of begins?
I mean, of course, I mean, when you're around other guys, I mean, you know, that's the thing. The thing is, you know, not who you got, how many have you had, or you know what I'm saying, like how many have you conquered? Like I got this, I got that, I got this, and I got that one. So this is amongst guys. So I don't know what women do in their surrounding circles or how they play it, but for men, that's what has been the thing for years. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, as you get older and older, you start to realize, man, it's kind of it's a little crazy, it's stupid, and it doesn't make sense. But you know, when you're young, man, nobody teaches you that these things are really it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make
You
sense.
know,
And if you want to have a long lasting relationship, it's not ever going to make any sense.
you know what? And with this song, where I want to be, it's like, okay, from my perspective, I know a lot of people heard it and men loved it. They're like, man, dog, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I want to, I love her, but man, there's so much. It got freaknik going on. You know, this is the era, so you got
Right,
all
right,
this stuff
right,
going on, and I mean, yeah, this is what's up, but this is what's up too,
right,
and
right,
I understand being torn, but it's like, but for a woman, she's like, a woman all sees herself as the choice. It's not, we understand that you have options, but every woman wants to be the choice, and that's
right,
it. So
right,
to get the guy that everyone wanted, for a woman, it's like, I was the choice.
right,
So, so I won. I have him. He has
right,
me, and we're winning together. But for
right,
you guys, it's like, yes, I have my prize, and
right,
that's great. But I
right,
also need some of these souvenirs, along the way, or
right,
whatever. Like, what is it?
right.
I mean, you just
That's a
explained
young
it,
mind.
but
That's a young mind. You know, that's a young mind. Um, it takes a long time for a young man to realize that, you know, we end up losing a lot of things in our lives that probably
mm,
was good for us before we actually really realized that. Um, and I mean, it's sad that we have to go through that, but nobody teaches us at a young age what it's like to be a real man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody teaches
mm,
us because, you know, even some of our dads, you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like we tell our children to, man, what about, look at her, look at her, look at her, look at her. It's not, it's never one thing. It's never focused on one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's always, you know, this and that.
I even over older men, I used to hear them say, you get you a good woman because when you get old, you want somebody to take care of you, you want somebody to rub your feet. It's always like a down thing, like you just like the woman's just helping you. It's nothing fun, nothing exciting. But so from your perspective, you're in this new light. You're shining. You're on
Mm.
tour with Alicia. She came out, she was hot. You killing
Yeah,
it. And
yeah,
you have a family life over here, but you got Tamika and them. No offense to nobody named Tamika,
okay,
but
right.
you have these young ladies out here, loosely stated, and they're
Mhm.
like, Donell, that dimple, because they in these messages right now. They
Right,
on your head
right,
about these dimples, that smile, and they like, Mr. Jones. It ain't even Donell no more. It's Mr. Jones.
right.
What's up? Tell me what's up. So, and your response was,
I mean,
what?
I was with it. At that time, I was with it. I was with it because, you know, that was the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was in my 20s at that time. You know what I'm saying? And even though
Mhm.
I was in a relationship, you know, I didn't know how to love. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to love because I never was taught how to love, how to be in a relationship. You know, my dad was a pastor, and you know, he worked a regular job, so I never really seen a lot of him except for the weekends. So
Okay.
I didn't have any sit down conversations with him about how to be good to a woman or how to, you know what I'm saying, like that. So I mean, in a lot of ways, even though I was with my pops and I lived with him for some time, the streets raised me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I would keep it 100, I was in the streets too. So I mean, when you're around your partners, you know, I mean, y'all always
It's
trying to
all that
turn up.
popping.
Yeah, y'all
Right.
always trying to turn up, and you know, so it's whatever at that point. And when I was back then, you know, like songs like, you know, Shorty Got Her Eyes on Me or This Love. I mean, I was living that lifestyle then. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, let's not have no relationships. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it strictly physical. That was what I was living, because that's what I was wanting at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. You know, but again, you know, when you're that young, you have to live through it in order to get to the point to where I'm at now, which is understanding what life is really about.
So, and I want to get into your new album, your new song, 100% Free. And I know this was monumental for you because you went through some things with your record labels, you know, Arista and so on. And, you know, I know that 7 years was a long time, but it's
Yeah,
also the number of completion, you know?
it is. It
So,
is. It is.
and so I know this album, we're going to get into this. I really want to get into this album, but um, I've always wanted to ask you, honestly, this is a privilege for me because I've always wanted to understand how men are torn in those types of ways, and I get it. You know, I think we as women, we overestimate you, and not I'm not saying that in a belittling way, but we put you on this pedestal that because we see you as strong and muscular and sure of yourselves, because you don't show your insecurities often. You don't wear it on your sleeves like as we as women do. And actually, we may wear it, but we're stronger than we think we are. You know what I'm saying? That we actually give ourselves credit for. But when we see you, we just see you as, I guess, that God likeness. Like, you know what you want, you know what you're gonna do, and I think that we take that very lightly to believe that you don't have any thoughts of uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? I think that we really underestimate that for you, and because we do that, we attack you as if you knew. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Right.
I think we as women, we do have to change our way of thinking and dealing with you all, because you're human, and we
Yeah.
don't see you as human. We see you as these cape wearing, you know, crime
Right.
fighting warriors, you know?
Right. Right.
So just be that then. Shoot.
I mean, well, we don't have all the answers. We definitely don't have all the answers. I mean, I think, you know, as a man and the man that I am today, you know, I feel like, you know, we have to start letting the young brothers know, and even some of these grown men know that, I mean, it's time to put down the little boy habits, man, and actually really become a man. You know what I'm saying? And that means, you know, being a stand-up guy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I posted something the other day saying that was it possible to do the right thing all the time? And the question is absolutely yes, because it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a choice. You choose whether or not you want to do the right thing or the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice.
Right.
Everything is a choice. You know what I'm saying? So when we know that, then we got to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be walking around this world being blind and being idiots, or just, you know what I'm saying, or just rocking with what flesh wants. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I've been on this earth for 47 years. You know what I'm saying? And I've always done what my flesh wanted me to do.
Mm.
Now it's time to rock with the spirit. You know what I'm saying? What's up with what the spirit want me to do? You know what I'm saying? What does
Yes.
that want me to do? Because it's time to change, man. I mean, we as a people, especially black people, we as a people, period, in this world, need to wake up and understand, man, that there's much more out here than just being addicted to all of these things that we are addicted to, which is
Absolutely.
it's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to wake up and we got to understand that there's more to this world than just that.
You better go ahead and preach. And I see a lot of people are agreeing with you. And I want you all to go ahead and send your questions, okay? Because I want you to be able to ask Donell your questions, and I want you to be able to talk to your fans because it seems as if a lot. I'm looking at a lot of men are agreeing with you, and a lot of women are as well. So, um, speaking from your own perspective of being this guy, handsome, not really acknowledging it, but just kind of going with the flow. You're a family man, you're getting pulled into a different direction. Life is great. Your song is hot, your album is hot, you're in demand. Now, what's next? Was it the change when L.A. Reid switched over? Was that the next pivotal change for you, or was it when your relationship? Because how did she feel when you made the song? Like, what did she say?
Oh, I mean, you know what? She didn't feel good about it. You know what I mean? We stayed together after I wrote that song for about maybe about maybe about 2 or 3 years.
Oh,
But she didn't feel good about the song. I mean, her family had to hear this damn song. You know what I'm saying? All her friends had to hear this song. But it was the truth, though. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It was the absolute truth. Now she didn't like the song, but she liked spending that money that song made. The song made a lot of money, so we were spending that money together. So I mean, even though the song was about our relationship, you know, we got over it because shortly after
Okay.
that, I had wrote where I want to where you are is where I want to be part two. So in
Right.
that song, I'm saying, I'm sorry for leaving you. I just wanted to. So I was feeling that way. See, a lot of people think that when I made that song, it was I wanted to go out and I wanted to cheat. That's what the video showed. But the song actually was saying that I'd rather leave than to cheat. You know what I'm saying? So he
Right.
wasn't cheating. He was saying I'd rather leave before I even start. But the video showed something different, so it made people, think of it a whole nother way. Um, but yeah, I mean, she didn't like it. She really didn't like it, but she appreciated the fact that I went back in and I wrote another song that highlighted our relationship. So yeah,
Okay. Okay. So let's get into now. You took a break. You took a break for 7 years.
yeah,
You
yeah,
took a 7 year break.
yeah.
I don't know if you want to, revisit all the things that may have caused it. We don't have to because I would love to.
I, I tell you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the reason, look, 13 years ago, I wrote an album called Lyrics. And
Okay.
right after I finished that album, man, I mean, something just started happening in my life where I just kept getting these feelings and these voices and stuff that not like voices like that. I'm just saying like things in my head that were like, yo, man, you gotta change your life, man. Just change. It's time for you to do something different. Like I said, I mean, I had been on earth for a long time and I had been living a certain kind of way, and I just wanted to just change my life. And it took me 7 years. Those 7 years that this is my seventh right here. It took me
Mm.
7 years to actually stop doing what I was smoking cigarettes. I was smoking marijuana. I was drinking. I had smoked cigarettes for 30 years. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14 years old. So, I mean, I was addicted to porn. I was addicted to a lot of things, man. I was addicted to self-hate. Um, I was always having negative thoughts. It was just so many things in my life that I had to really, really sit back and think about and just try to each one I had to break it down and let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
everything, let it go. And I had to relearn how to love myself, how to treat myself. And not only that, how to treat the people around me. And it took me 7 years to get to this point. So that's why, I feel good about who I am today. You know what I'm saying? I love me.
You know what? And I don't think that it's an accident that it's been 7 years. Your seventh album, 7 years gone. And it's called 100% free, and seven
Yeah,
is the number of completion. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
think someone said this was God's plan, and I absolutely believe that. You have always been his child, and I'm glad that he was introduced to you at such a young age because people really don't know you need that. I mean, you need it to do anything in this life. I've had my own journey that I'll tell one day, but it's definitely so important because what the enemy says, And those moments when you're trying to progress, it's unbelievable. Just to, to show your face again, like, oh, nobody wants, you just hear a whole bunch of different things, and it's inside of yourself. But then you begin
Yeah.
to somehow you have enough in you to rebuke it, like, not, no, I can't, no, I'm not accepting that. I heard you for about 15 minutes. I'm not about to keep accepting that for my life. No,
Right.
I'm better than this. No, I can't. I need some help, but I'm better than this. And I think it's that at that Job moment. I think it's kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
Job moment where you realize, okay, this is kind of what a prerequisite for success. Everyone has to go through that trying moment, and that
Exactly.
in that moment will define who you really are. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm looking at a man who has wisdom, who has learned, who is more aware, and who's looking to make the better decisions. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of people that I love. I just see them come on. Hi, Macy. Love you. Donell, can you tell Macy hi?
What's up, Macy? How you doing? What's up, Brittany? What's up, Brittany? How you doing?
They're loving you. Oh
Obi?
my God. And so I just see a man who is on that next level. Even though I'm from my own living room watching you, I've never seen anything that was like out of the ordinary, but just hearing your testimony and hearing your journey through my research, I'm just like, wow, you went through a lot, and a lot of it was within yourself. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to see, because we're such in good spirits. I really don't want to go into that dark time, for
You know
you.
what? I don't mind because somebody may hear something that could possibly help them. So
You're
it doesn't
okay
bother
with
me where
it?
we go. Wherever we go is fine with me.
Okay, okay. So, okay, y'all. So if you're just coming on, we are of course with the very, very wonderful Donell Jones, who is beyond talented writer, producer, singer, and we know that he's been gone for 7 years, but we are so excited and elated that he is back with new music. Thank
Oh
you,
yeah.
because honey,
Oh
this
yeah.
music
Yeah.
that's out right now, it's terrible. So we welcome this. We welcome you. But we didn't know why you were gone. We really didn't know. So we know that after the album, it was hot, and then it just kind of took a turn. So what happened after the album?
Well, after Where I Want to Be, LaFace Records was about to shut down, and L.A. Reid was about to take control of Arista Records. So
Okay.
at that time, we started working on Life Goes On. And
Mhm.
so when Life Goes On came out, we released You Know That I Love You. And that was pretty much the only song that they released off of that particular album, even though that album had a slew of records on it. See, my thing about
Mhm.
this, when I was on LaFace Records, I always felt like they really didn't give me the support that I needed. Even though I appreciated them for giving me the opportunity, I always felt like, their number one guy was Usher, and then there
Mm.
was TLC, and then there was Tony Braxton, Outkast, Goody Mob. Donell Jones was on the totem pole, on the low end of that pole, because I wasn't from Atlanta. I was from Chicago, and I lived in Jersey, where Eddie and them was at. So, I mean, I wasn't a priority on that label, but I think what kept me there was the fact that they knew that I could make my own music. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't cost
Mm.
them a lot of money to make a Donell Jones album, because I'm doing most of the work myself. You know what I'm
Everything
saying?
yourself,
I mean,
right?
and Eddie F and his team also, participated. I'm not saying I did everything, because I didn't. But it didn't cost as much money as it cost some of those other artists to create their projects. So
Mm.
by the time we got to Life Goes On, I was already pretty much fed up with LaFace, because, like I said, they could have released a whole bunch of more records off of the Where I Want to Be album. They could have released a whole bunch of more records off of the Life Goes On album, and I really felt like they were not really in my corner. So after that happened, uh, LaFace Records was L.A. Reid was going to Arista. So
Right.
Arista ended up shutting down after he got there. So then all of the artists had to go to Jive Records. Okay, so now is I'm going to jive, Usher's going to jive. They already got Joe, they got R. Kelly, they got Justin Timberlake, they got it was just a whole bunch of male artists over there already. So now I'm really going to another place where it's like, nah, they really don't give a fuck about Donell Jones over here. Cause I mean, look at all these people they got. Plus they got two other people that. So by the time I got the jive, we was doing the Journey of a Gemini album. Yeah, it was crazy. And then at that time, my alcohol, I had a really bad alcohol problem because I had, at that time, and I was going through a terrible depression. My life was in an uproar, and I wasn't really feeling good about myself at that time. So doing that whole Journey of a Gemini album, I mean, it was just bad for me because I was drinking a lot. I started to get myself together at the end of the album. I stopped drinking, and that's when I had got the best songs. I went to Tim and Bob, and I went to Mike City, and and I went to the Underdogs, and I got some great material at the end, which made that particular album a great album. But me personally, I was going through a lot of things at that particular time in my life.
I'm gonna switch it out. Anthony Hamilton told me to switch out throughout the show. So okay, Anthony, for you, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Okay.
So
we doing that?
Hey.
Okay. Let me switch it out too then.
Hey, we ready? Hey, come on now, match my flag.
Right.
Or I'm gonna match your flag.
Do this.
So I love it. Okay, so you were with Arista.
Correct.
Then you went to you were with LaFace, Arista, Jive. Jive
right.
was everything seemed like some jive turkey. So now,
I mean, you know what? Let me clarify, because you know what, they were good people, but at the same time, they already had too much on their plate. You know what I'm saying? And then at the time when I was recording my album, I was under a lot of stress. My alcoholism had got to a bad point. So I mean, they probably wanted to help, but at that particular time, I wasn't in a good space. So they had to move on. And, that was probably to me, that was an awesome album, but I wasn't there to give it what it needed. I couldn't give it what it needed because I wasn't the person I needed to be at that particular time.
So what was it? What was it that made you want to begin to, spiral in that way? Like, what was that moment?
I was depressed because, I felt like I had given this music business a lot of great moments, a lot of great music, and I felt like I wasn't getting my just due. You know what I'm saying? I really felt like, damn, man, here it is. Here we go again. And not only that, my life was, at that time, when I was working on Journey of a Gemini, me and my children's mom had finally broke up, and we had just moved here to Atlanta. And I'm in this big house, and we break up, and she moves out, and I'm in this house alone. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I just felt like I was lonely. You know what I'm saying? I was lonely. I was by myself, and life just began to be just horrible for me. You know what I'm saying? Because who wants to be alone? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just got really, really depressed at that time. You know what I'm saying? Really depressed, and I took it out on myself by drinking. I was trying to self-medicate.
You know what? I think what people have a misunderstanding about the music industry is that, when you're out, of course, you always see people out. They're always doing their thing, and it's fun, and it's exciting because if you're in the entertainment world, you're naturally, it's kind of like you're almost naturally happy. When you're out, you just have this natural aura about yourself. But then in order to have those gifts, you have a lot of alone time, you have a lot of downtime, and it's a lot of quiet time by yourself time. And then it's a lot of people who may not understand your thinking process, or the little things that you have to have a certain way in order to even be creative. Like, I may need the light like this, or I need to have on my favorite flip flops or whatever, just whatever your thing is. And they don't know it's a really lonely life because you don't have a lot of people that can that you can really talk to and just understand you. And I think that's the main thing that anybody, the main goal for anybody in the industry is just to be understood.
It is.
Genuinely.
Yep. And
Not
I'm an
relate to
introvert by
me.
nature. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't relate to me. Like, okay, I get it, but no, understand me. And I think that
Right.
is something that every artist strives for, or every person working in the business. And every you are your brand. If people are not feeling you, you don't eat. Like Andre 3000 said, he said, I live by the beat, like, like you live check to check. So
Right.
if you don't move your feet, then I don't eat. So like we're like neck to
Mm.
neck.
Right.
I get
Right.
it,
Yeah.
because if you're not feeling me, that's it. And that's the worst thing that you can process is people like not feeling you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right. That's
So,
true.
you know, and so it can open the door for self doubt and for other things to come and try to soothe that, whatever your vice is. I smoked weed for 10
Right.
years. I don't smoke or drink anymore. I did stop cursing, but then I had, my child's father, so that kind of
Right.
came back for a hot second. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm trying here, but you see what I'm dealing with here, so forgive
Right.
me. So but that block, honey, that block button is the truth, okay? It's
Right.
the truth. Anyways, anyways, but if you don't, in 2016, I went through my own thing, and I had stopped smoking and drinking in 2012, and it seemed like when I stopped, that's when I got hit the hardest, to kind of
Hmm.
provoke me to go back. And I think that
Hmm.
you have to have such a discipline. It wasn't that I was so disciplined within myself, but my love for God was stronger than my desire to do those things. So
Exactly.
um, for me, it was like, okay, you brought me through a lot. I can't go back to that. So for your pivotal moment, I know that you had a moment where you were kind of drinking heavy, and
Yeah.
then the next day you kind of came to and said, you know what, enough is enough.
Yeah. Yep.
What was
I
that
think that
conversation like, if you wanna?
no, my rock bottom was one day. I was here at the house by myself, and I had drank a whole gallon of uh, Smirnoff. And I mean,
Bumpy
I was.
face? No,
You say who?
that's not bumpy face. That's not bumpy face. This
No,
is
that's
oh,
Smirnoff vodka. Vodka.
oh.
Uh, uh, so look, I drank it. Um, I was so drunk I fell asleep. But when I woke up, you know how you move around, you can still feel it. I still heard the liquor in my stomach. I woke up, fell asleep drunk. Woke up, fell asleep drunk. It was the worst feeling in the world, man. I mean, and
Mm.
that time I had called my mom. I was like, Mom, you know what? I think you need to come pick me up and take me to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go to rehab. So she came and she got me. The funny thing is when we got to the place, I was sober, and they were like, "Well, we can't admit you unless you're drunk." So I had to go get drunk again just to get into rehab. So I'm like, "Damn,
Well,
I really didn't want to get
well,
drunk, but I
isn't
had to
that
get drunk again just to get in the damn place." So I had to go do that,
well, isn't that
and
helpful?
then and then they took me in, and that was the first time that I had stopped drinking. That was the first time. Hey,
Okay.
hey, hey,
Hey.
hey.
Hi. I'm so sorry.
That's
Instagram.
all good. I know
They
that
shut it down.
right after an hour, right?
Exactly. So I know that we don't have a whole lot of time because you gotta handle your business, and I definitely appreciate you coming back. Okay.
It's all good.
So I know that we left off at a pivotal point, but since we only have a little bit of time, I want to talk about your new music. 100% free album.
Yes.
The song. Tell us a little bit about it. Go ahead.
Oh well, this particular album, it's my seventh album. It's going to be called 100% Free, and we already know all the reasons why I'm calling it free.
Absolutely.
But it's also going to be a free album for you guys to download from my website, which is DonellJonesMusic.com. And I just want you guys to. I'm giving it to you because I really feel like this time that we're living in right now. Um, you know, a lot of people don't have a lot of money. A lot of people are struggling. They lost their jobs and stuff like that, and I don't want to take anything from you. I want to give you something. So This album is what I want to give you, and and it's going to be a positive album. There's going to be some love songs on there. There's going to be some, when you're home with your wife and you want to get it in, there's going to be a song like that on there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you a little bit of everything. There's going to be 7 songs, and shortly after that, I'm coming out with another album called Elevate. So this one is 100% free, and the next one is Elevate.
You guys heard it right then and there. 100% free. You go to his website, you download it, tell your friends it's 7 songs, throw all 7 into your playlist, okay? Because we want to definitely show our love and support because we've missed you. We thank God for your journey. We thank God for your transitions. And you haven't aged a bit. I mean, you look good. Do you feel like taking your shades off? Can we? Or you want to keep it cool? Right. Y'all see it. Super fine. I don't know if you got a lady, but he's handsome.
I'm married. Yeah,
he's married.
I love my wife, man, and she's actually the person that really taught me how to love. You know what I'm saying? Because I really didn't know how to love a woman, man, and she really, taught me how to love, and I credit a lot of where I am today because of her, because she came in my life and she made me want to change to become a better person. You know what I'm saying? So I mean. When you find people like that, man, you got to really cherish them, and you got to really, honor and become different for the people that you love.
Ladies, he's where he wants to be. But guess what? He wants to inspire us all to find that love and to find what we need in our own life. So we are definitely anticipating this album, and it's going to come out in November, sometime in November.
Yes.
Okay, is November 11th still the date, or we're going to play around somewhere in there?
Right now, I'm really trying to get some samples cleared, so I really can't put a date on it because I have some samples on this album, and I really I need them on the album, so I really can't give a date for the other people who may may not clear it or may want to charge me something for it. So I have to give them time to work it out and see what we can do.
I have one question.
Sure.
Right there.
I mean, sure. Sitting at the light, she pulled up on my right. Looking in the mirror, making sure her shit was tight. I know she felt me watching, but was scared to look my way. I know she won't look, but I think I got her shook. Under pressure, don't know what to do. She's got 2 cuties with her, and I got my peoples too. Put in one, stepped on the gun and made it you. Looked inside, gave me a smile, then she blew. What am I gonna do?
Hey.
And my voice dry. I'm so dry.
Honey, you are fine. Listen.
It's the best I can do right now.
You're doing your thing. Oh my goodness, I love it. Oh, come on. Yes, we are ready. And what's the name of that song? Yes, they love it.
Have you seen her?
Have you seen her? Go download it. Go download 100% free. Donell, we just want to say that we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Your manager, I had the pleasure of speaking with her, or your publicist. She is absolutely amazing. I love it. I ordered her book. And I can't wait to have it. So I know that you are surrounded around wonderful people who love and support you. And Kenya, thank you so much. And Donell, thank you for joining us here at Glasses After Dark. And I will be sending you a welcome package. So thank you for being a part. Yes, we love you. Thank you. Yes. Much love.
I wanted to say to the fans, man, I love you guys. Thank you for rocking with me all these years. I promise not to keep you waiting that long again. But, sometimes we got to work on ourselves. And I just really want us as a people, man, to really try to, fix our lives, get ourselves together, and just start living in a righteous way. Life is too short, man. So let's just make it beautiful. You know what I'm saying? The choice is up to you. You can change right now. It's up to you. You can do it. All right? Love y'all.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Enjoy your night.
Bye-bye.